Hello everyone and welcome back to Willa Dean's Kitchen. Today we have a good dish that we're going to prepare. We're going to do some red fish stew. Some people call it red curry, but we're going to just call it red fish stew today because we have 2 pieces of snapper, red snapper, and we have a piece of catfish. We're going to cut this up and get that cooked off. And the additional ingredients, now there's quite a few of them here. So what we have is we have chopped onions, we have some chopped cilantro, chopped parsley, we have some chopped dill, fresh dill weed, we have chopped celery here, a little bit of chopped celery to go in there, and we have some chopped up green onions. We have some roasted garlic, which has been chopped up as well. We have the zest of 1 lemon, and we're also going to use the lemon juice in this as well. We have some salt and pepper, a half a teaspoon of salt and pepper. Over here we have some garlic powder. We have a half a teaspoon of garlic powder, a 1/4 teaspoon of ginger, half a teaspoon of paprika, and a half a teaspoon of ground coriander in this bowl. And here we have something that the curry leaves. We have curry leaves that I got from the Indian market. If you don't have curry leaves, do not use curry powder. This is not a replacement or a substitute for curry powder. The curry leaves are just adds a lemony, nutty flavor to your dish. We have an assortment of red, green, and yellow bell peppers cut up. We also have some crushed tomatoes that we're going to use in here, and we have some coconut milk that we're going to use. We borrowed that, of course, from the islands and the Caribbean styles fish. So we're going to get all this stuff put together and we're going to start cooking it off, and I'm going to show you how we're going to make this red fish stew. Okay, so our first step is we cut our fish up into smaller pieces, and we're going to season it with some salt and pepper. And we're going to sear this fish off in some hot oil for maybe a minute or so on each side. We don't have to cook it all the way because it's going to cook again once it gets into the pot with the rest of the stew. So we're going to get this into a hot pan and get it seared off. Then we're going to remove it from the pan, and then we're going to start adding the rest of our ingredients. All right, we got a nice hot pan here. We're going to start adding our fish to the pan. We're going to sear this off good. Let it cook for about a minute or so on each side. So once the fish is cooked off, and we're going to remove it from the pan, and then we'll start on the rest of our ingredients. Okay, so now we got some more hot oil in the pot. The fish has been removed. We're going to cook up a few of these curry leaves. The curry leaves will give us some flavor to our dish. So we're just going to put those in here. We can remove them later. They say they're edible as well, so you can eat them after you cook them, but we're going to put those in there and let them cook off. Next, we're going to add our green onions in there. We're going to add our celery. I'm going to put in some of the cilantro. I'm going to add our dill to this. I'm going to put in our garlic. dry spice. I'm gonna cook this off. Add a little bit of oil to that. So now as the spices cook off, it's going to release their flavors well into the pot. And the next thing we're going to add is our crushed tomatoes. And we're going to let those crushed tomatoes cook down till they get to a paste-like form. And then we will add the rest of our ingredients. So now we're going to let this cook down, and we'll be back after it's come to a nice thick consistency. Okay everyone, we let our tomatoes cook for about 10-12 minutes, the tomato paste here. So now it's a nice thick paste, has lots of aroma coming off of it. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to add our onions. Here we're going to put a little oil in there. We're going to add these onions to the pot. Get the onions cooking. Alright, now is a good time to add some heat. So we have some chili garlic sauce here that I have. But I'm actually going to use another product that I got from the Indian store. We're going to add some pickled tomatoes to this, and it has a little bit of heat to it, so we're going to get that in the pot. A little bit of those pickled tomatoes in there. Mix everything up here good. So now our stew is starting to come together. The next thing we add is we're going to add some coconut milk here. You know, coconut milk is rich and thick. I got some organic coconut milk. Has a lot of fat in it. Coconut fat or coconut oil. I'm going to put that in there. I'm going to add a little bit of liquid here. Mix everything up. Now we're going to bring this up to a nice slow simmer boil. And then we're going to add our peppers and our fish to this. And we'll be almost ready. Okay, so our sauce is starting to bubble a little bit here. So we're going to add our lemon zest that we have from one lemon. Gotta get all of that in there. We have lemon juice from that lemon. We're going to get everything stirred in here well. And now is when you want to start tasting. Make sure you have enough salt. And even if you want it hot and spicy, you want to make sure you got enough spice as well. Let me give this a taste. Oh, that is good. The salt level is great. So now that it's beginning to bubble a little, we're going to get our peppers in. And the pepper's going to add a lot of color to this. That's one of the reasons why we're adding them. So we'll get those peppers in there good. And we're just going to let this cook for a minute or two, and then we'll add our fish, and we'll be ready to serve this up on some rice. All right, so our peppers have been cooking for a minute, so we're going to add our fish back to the pot. Mix that in there well. It smells delicious, this tomato base that we have here. So our fish is pretty much cooked. It could still go maybe another minute. So we're gonna let this cook. What we do now is we just add a little more fresh herbs. We got some dill. We have some parsley here. Have some cilantro. This is just all gonna boost our flavor up for this dish. So we'll be ready when it's time to plate in a minute or two. Okay everyone, the red fish stew is finished cooking. I served it up with some white rice, and we have some parsley on the top for garnish, and we have a couple of lime wedges as garnish as well. It looks good, it looks good and it smells great. So now we're gonna see what it tastes like. So we're gonna get a chunk of this fish here, right here. Nice chunk of fish. And we're gonna give this a good taste. Tastes good. Not as spicy as I would like. I could have added a little more spice to it, but the tomato flavor, along with all of the herbs and spices we put in here, it's really coming through. I think you would love this dish. Give it a try at home. It's very similar to a curry, but it's not exactly a curry, so we call it red fish stew here.